Most traders don't lose because they are stupid. They don't lose because they lack intelligence. They lose because they are addicted, not addicted to money, not addicted to charts, not addicted to strategies. They are addicted to the emotional chaos that comes with losing. And until you understand that, you will keep repeating the same mistakes with different excuses. Because what most people call bad trading is actually emotional dependency disguised as decision-making. This is uncomfortable to hear. But if you are losing money in trading, this is probably why. People believe they want to win. They believe they want profit. They believe they want freedom. But what they really want is stimulation. They want to feel something. And the market gives them that. Not peace, not stability, not quiet growth, chaos. And chaos feels familiar to most minds. For many traders, losing feels safer than winning. Not because losing is pleasant, but because it is familiar. You already know how it feels to fail. You already know how it feels to be disappointed. You already know how it feels to be angry at the screen. There is comfort in knowing what comes next. But winning requires something different. Winning requires patience, control, delayed gratification, emotional silence. And silence terrifies undisciplined minds. So subconsciously, many traders return to what they know best, failure. Not because they want to suffer, but because suffering feels normal. People say they want success, but what they really want is certainty. And failure is certain for those who live inside it long enough. Your brain does not chase success, it chases what it recognizes. This is why people repeat the same mistakes even after promising themselves they will change. Because familiarity feels like safety. Now let's talk about something even darker. Most traders are not trading the market. They are trading their nervous system. Every trade releases something in the brain. Win or lose, dopamine flows. The brain does not care if the outcome is good or bad. It cares about stimulation. So over time, the trader stops trading for money and starts trading for feeling. The feeling of being in a trade, the feeling of being right, the feeling of being almost there. Even losing gives stimulation. Frustration is stimulation. Anger is stimulation. Hope is stimulation. And boredom feels like death. This is why many traders say, I hate trading, but they can't stop because what they hate is losing money. But what they love is the emotional intensity. And that is addiction, not to money, but to emotional fluctuation. Discipline feels boring to the addicted mind. Discipline is waiting. Discipline is not entering trades. Discipline is closing the platform. Discipline is accepting small wins. Discipline is walking away. There is no adrenaline in discipline. No story, no drama. And the addicted mind craves drama. So traders overtrade. They force setups. They chase moves. They revenge trade. They break their rules. Not because they are ignorant, but because boredom feels worse than loss. Loss still gives emotion. Discipline gives silence. And silence exposes the mind. Silence forces you to sit with yourself. And most people don't like who they are when there is no noise. Now here comes a truth that hurts. Most traders don't want money. They want a new identity. They don't want profit. They want escape. Escape from a job they hate, a life they dislike, a version of themselves they feel trapped in. So they turn trading into a fantasy. They imagine, I will become a trader. I will become successful. I will become respected. I will finally become someone. But fantasy trading destroys real trading. Because real trading is slow, quiet, boring, unemotional. Fantasy needs chaos. Real trading needs calm. So traders sabotage calm profits to return to emotional excitement. They close winning trades too early. They hold losers too long. They double positions after loss. They remove stop losses. They chase trades they know they shouldn't take. Not because they don't know better, but because deep down, they do not trust peace. They trust struggle. Struggle feels honest. Peace feels unfamiliar. Many traders feel uncomfortable when things go well. They say they want consistency, but consistency feels empty to an undisciplined identity. Chaos gives them a story. Consistency gives them responsibility. and responsibility is heavier than loss. This is not a trading problem. This is a character problem reflected in trading. Your trading is not broken. Your identity is. You trade who you are. If you are impulsive in life, you will be impulsive in trading. If you seek shortcuts in life, you will seek them in trading. If you avoid discipline in life, you will avoid it on the chart. The market does not create your flaws. It exposes them. This is why strategies don't fix most traders. Because strategy cannot fix impatience. Indicators cannot fix greed. Entries cannot fix lack of discipline. Risk management cannot fix emotional addiction. Traders keep searching for better systems while refusing to become better operators. They think they need a new method. What they need is a new identity. An identity that values boring routines, quiet consistency, delayed gratification, emotional neutrality. Until you become addicted to discipline instead of stimulation, your results will remain chaotic. Let me say something very clearly. You do not fix this by changing your strategy. You fix this by changing what you reward. If you reward big wins, fast profits, excitement drama, your brain will sabotage discipline. But if you reward following rules, not entering trades, closing on time, walking away, respecting stops, your brain will rewire. You must learn to feel proud not when you win, but when you obey your rules. Because results lie. Discipline doesn't. Here is the hardest truth most traders will never accept. The market does not need you to be smart. It needs you to be stable, emotionally, mentally, psychologically. And until your mind becomes boring, your results will remain chaotic. You don't become profitable by becoming more aggressive. You become profitable by becoming less reactive, by becoming less emotional, less impulsive, less desperate. The best traders are not intense. They are calm. They are almost boring. That is why they win. And here is where most people make a mistake. They believe that once they understand all this, once they become aware of their addiction to chaos, once they see their emotional patterns, everything will suddenly change. But awareness alone does not save you, because your mind does not change through understanding. It changes through repetition. You do not become disciplined by realizing you are undisciplined. You become disciplined by doing disciplined things even when your emotions beg you not to. This is where most traders fail. Not in ignorance, but in execution. They know what they should do. They simply do not do it. And that is because discipline is not an idea. It is a lifestyle. You cannot be chaotic in life and expect calm in trading. You cannot live without structure and expect consistency on the chart. The market is not separate from you. It is an extension of you. If your sleep is inconsistent, your trading will be inconsistent. If your diet is chaotic, your decisions will be chaotic. If your emotions are unmanaged, your trades will be unmanaged. Most traders want to fix their trading without fixing their lives. And that is why nothing changes. You cannot outtrade a disordered lifestyle. Let that sink in. If your daily life is impulsive, your trading will reflect that. If you procrastinate in life, you will hesitate in execution. If you avoid discomfort in life, you will avoid taking proper losses. Trading does not create who you are. It reveals who you already are under pressure. And pressure is the only environment where character becomes visible. Now let's talk about something deeper. Most traders are not afraid of losing money. They are afraid of facing themselves. Because when you sit in silence, when you are not in a trade, when there is no chart in front of you, you are left with your thoughts. And for many people, their thoughts are louder than the market. Trading becomes an escape from inner noise. Instead of dealing with their mind, they distract it with trades. Instead of building a disciplined identity, they chase emotional relief. This is why many traders feel restless when they are not trading, not because there is an opportunity missing, but because silence exposes what they are avoiding. Your biggest enemy is not the market. It is the version of you that cannot sit still. This is why meditation, journaling, and solitude terrify most traders. Because those tools do not hide weakness, they expose it. And growth only happens when exposure becomes acceptance. Let's go even deeper. Most traders secretly believe they are special, not consciously, but emotionally. They believe the rules apply to others, but somehow not fully to them. They say, I know this is risky, but I usually don't do this, but just this once. And this is where destruction begins. Because the moment you believe you are an exception to discipline, you become a victim of your own ego. Markets do not punish ignorance as brutally as they punish ego. Ignorance can be corrected. Ego resists correction. Ego tells you, you deserve more. You are closer than you think. You just need one more trade. And one more trade becomes one more mistake repeated 1,000 times. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Most traders don't want discipline. They want permission. Permission to break rules. Permission to gamble. Permission to act on impulse without feeling guilty. They search for strategies not to improve, but to justify emotional decisions. They don't ask, is this a good trade? They ask, how can I convince myself this is a good trade? That is not trading, that is self-deception. And self-deception is the most expensive habit a trader can have, because the market never argues with you. It simply takes your money, silently, without emotion, without apology. Now let's talk about patience. Patience is not waiting. Patience is controlling the impulse to act without reason. Most people confuse patience with doing nothing, but patience is doing the right thing at the right time and refusing to act at the wrong time. This is why patience is rare, because it requires emotional control over instinct. An instinct in trading is almost always wrong. Your instinct wants comfort. Your instinct wants speed. Your instinct wants certainty, but the market rewards delay, uncertainty, discomfort. And that is why most people lose, because their biology is not built for the market. It must be trained, not through motivation, through structure. Let me show you what real structure looks like. Not a strategy, a system of behavior. You wake up at the same time every day. You prepare your mind before charts. You define your risk before entries. You limit the number of trades. You journal regardless of outcome. You review regardless of emotion. And most importantly, you walk away even when you want to stay. Because discipline is not about doing more. It is about knowing when to stop. The ability to stop is more valuable than the ability to enter. Most traders master entries. Very few master exits. Even fewer master walking away. Because walking away feels like giving up control, but it is the ultimate form of control. Now here is a truth that separates professionals from amateurs. Professionals do not seek opportunity. They seek alignment. Alignment between their mind, their rules, their environment, their behavior. When these are aligned, profits become a byproduct, not a goal. And this is where most traders fail. They chase money instead of building alignment. Money is not a target, it is a result. And results are produced by identity. You do not trade for money, you trade from who you are. Change who you are, and your trading changes automatically. Most people reverse this. They try to change results without changing behavior, and they stay stuck because behavior is driven by identity, and identity is built through repetition, not desire, not motivation, not hope. Repetition. Doing the same disciplined things over and over until they become automatic. And automatic discipline is the only real edge. Everything else is temporary. Let's talk about fear. Fear is not your enemy. Unconscious fear is. Fear that is acknowledged can be managed. Fear that is ignored controls you. Most traders say, I am not afraid, but their behavior says otherwise. They move stops. They close early. They hesitate. They overtrade. These are not technical mistakes. They are emotional reactions. Fear does not disappear by pretending it isn't there. It disappears by understanding it and building systems around it. If you fear losing, reduce your risk. If you fear missing out, reduce your exposure. If you fear being wrong, increase your data. Fear is information, not weakness, but only if you listen to it properly. Most traders fight fear instead of designing around it. Now let's go even deeper. Why do people really fail in trading? Because trading demands something most people are never taught. Delayed gratification, to wait when you want action, to accept small wins when you want big ones, to stay calm when you want excitement. The modern world trains you for the opposite. Instant pleasure, instant response, instant reward. Trading punishes instant gratification and rewards delayed discipline. That is why trading feels unnatural. Because it is. It requires unlearning everything your environment has taught you. And most people are not willing to unlearn. They want to add trading on top of a broken mindset, and they wonder why it collapses. Let me make this very clear. You do not rise in trading to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. Goals are imagination. Discipline is reality. Now listen carefully. If you want to change your trading, stop focusing on profits. Start focusing on how you wake up, how you think, how you react, how you recover, how you reset, how you repeat. These are the real edges, not indicators, not patterns, not secret strategies. Those are tools, character is the weapon, and most traders sharpen tools with a dull character, and they wonder why nothing works. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine trading without emotion, not excitement, not fear, not desperation, just execution. No attachment to outcome. No need to be right. No need to prove anything. Just following your rules like a machine. This is not inhuman. This is trained. This is built. And it is built through thousands of small, boring decisions done correctly. Not through one big breakthrough, not through motivation, not through inspiration, but through quiet consistency. And that is what most people refuse. Because quiet consistency does not feel powerful. It feels invisible. But invisibility is where mastery is formed. Nobody sees you become disciplined. They only see the result, and they call it talent. It is not talent. It is tolerance, tolerance for boredom, tolerance for repetition, tolerance for silence, tolerance for discomfort. That is what separates profitable traders from emotional gamblers. Now let me tell you the final truth. Trading is not a way to escape life. It is a way to confront it. Every flaw you avoid in life will appear in your trading. Every weakness you ignore will cost you money. Every discipline you build will protect your capital. Trading is the most honest mirror you will ever face. It does not care about your story. It does not care about your intentions. It only responds to your actions. And that is why trading breaks most people. Not because it is unfair, but because it is honest. And honesty is painful to undisciplined minds. But if you accept that pain, if you respect that mirror, if you stop trying to beat the market and start mastering yourself, then trading stops being a battlefield and becomes a system where money is simply a reflection of who you have become. And that is the only version of trading that lasts. If you stayed until now, understand this. You are not broken. You are simply untrained. And training is possible, but only for those who are willing to become boring before becoming profitable. If this message disturbed you, that is good, because discomfort is the beginning of discipline. If this made you reflect, that means your problem isn't charts, it is control. I share deeper mindset tools, routines, and discipline frameworks inside my Telegram channel. If you are serious about changing not just your trading, but your character, the link is in the description. This is where traders stop gambling and start becoming disciplined operators.